Good evening, everybody. I've been away for 2 weeks. I had to give talks in different locations in Japan last Monday and also the Monday before. But now I'm back for a Zen and Zazen class. And let's sit as always for 30 minutes first. And this time I want to talk about Sawaki Roshi's sayings again from this book to you. But first, let's sit for half an hour.
我们前面还是做30分钟坐禅，然后今天分享那个之前泽木老师写那本书《To You》。
Thank you very much for sitting together. Today I want to talk about some sayings by Kodo Sawaki again. The last two times I was talking about the unity of samsara and nirvana, but now I'm back to the second chapter of To You.
我们前几次课呢讲的其实是那个涅槃还有重生，那个话题哈。然后今天我们回到就是那个 Sawaki 老师的那本书，从第2章开始分析。
The next quote is, "People love emotional confusion. Just look at the film posters in front of the cinema. Nothing but emotional confusion on their faces. Buddha-dharma means not putting yourself at the mercy of emotional confusion. In the world, on the other hand, a big fuss is made over nothing."
然后今天这几句话，我给大家分析，就是大概其意思啊。人们总是被你的情绪所困扰，当你看到那些电影的海报的时候，就是在那个镜头前面看到电影海报的时候，其实也看不出从他们的脸上只有情绪上面的就是不舒服，只有情绪上面的那些反应，除了这些没有别的。像佛法呢，它其实是让大家不要被这些情绪所困扰，不要让你自己困在这个情绪的就是困在这个情绪的困扰当中。这个世界上还有另一方面，一个特别大的一个不清楚的一个地方，其实就是什么都没有啊，就是你总是被一个什么都没有的东西而感到困扰，或者是焦虑，或者它让你觉得特别乱。其实从另外一个角度说，那些东西什么都不是，大概是这个意思。
In the English translation, Sawaki Roshi talks about movie posters or posters in front of the cinema. In the Japanese, it says "Eiga no kokoku," so it's advertisements in front of the cinema theater. I could imagine that at the time of Sawaki Roshi, it was actually paintings, so people wouldn't have printed posters, but there would be painters who would paint them for each of these movies. Anyway, in the chat function, there's a link to a movie about the life of Dogen Zenji that you can also see in full on YouTube. It's about 2 hours long. And as you can imagine, the life of Dogen Zenji is not so super exciting, especially when it comes to emotional drama. He was somebody who became a monk very young, and he was interested in the meaning of practice and the nature of enlightenment. Then he went to China. He found the answer with his Chinese teacher, but then he went back to Japan and he lived for the rest of his life in a monastic context. But probably because the director of this movie knew that it would be very hard to attract people to actually go and see that movie. If you watch the movie, there's also a kind of romantic affair. Not Dogen Zenji is involved, but one of his disciples falls in love with a woman, and there's this love scene. So the people who make these movies, they know very well that, well, just sitting is not interesting enough. You need some kind of emotional, how do you say, bait, kind of something to attract people. And usually it's something that triggers our emotions.
我说大概其意思哈， 就是我们刚才这里面老师讲的那个萨瓦基老师，就是泽木老师，他说，当人们看，当人们在电影院哈，在电影前面看到那个海报的时候，你只看到了一些情绪，其实很难知道它到底是因为什么，只是表现情绪。在那个泽木老师那个年代呢，他们当时画那个他们是手绘的海报，就是不同的电影，不是现在我们是电脑做的哈，他们那个时候是一部电影都是手绘的。他们那些手绘电影呢，也是就是要表现情绪，他其实也说不出来什么，就是表现不出来什么情节，基本上都是表现情绪哈。刚才那个我分享了咱们群里边的，就是老师分享了一个电影，那个电影呢，其实讲的就是道元禅师的一生，就是讲了他是怎么开始修行的，然后到中国。后来又怎么发生好多事儿哈，但是在那个尽管这是一部讲那个道元禅师平生的一个电影，尽管它是一个介绍禅，就是讲禅的一个电影，但是里面其实也有情绪的情节，就是讲的不是他，讲的是他一个学生啊和一个别的就是一个女的，我们叫什么呀？施主嘛，我们讲就是和一个别的人，他也是有一些情节的，他也是有一些情绪反应的，所以你看。虽然是一部讲禅，就是讲坐禅、讲道元禅师的电影，那个导演都知道，光是讲坐禅的话，可能不够吸引人，他还设计一些情节哈，就是这些情节来吸引大家。所以，就是我们经常会被情绪所困扰，就是你总是被一些好像有的没的那些情绪所困扰，就是这个特别正常啊。老师刚才就讲了这么一个例子。
Overall, I think it's a pretty interesting movie, and because Dogen traveled to China and spent a couple of years here studying, also a good part of that movie is in Chinese. I don't know if you have access to that movie in China. It might be difficult, but maybe Xuan-san can find out if there's a way for the Chinese of you to see it. It's also interesting because you can at least understand part of that in your own language. What I personally found most dissatisfying about the movie was not so much that love scene that people maybe edit so that it's more interesting for the audience. I found this kind of enlightenment scene. Dogen Zenji, at one point, it says that he dropped off body and mind. He let go of everything. And well, that's hard to express in the movie. So they have him kind of sitting on a lotus flower, and then he's kind of beaming up into the sky. And that scene, I don't know, maybe that's how you feel when you have an LSD trip. But I found that, again, people somehow try to appeal to people's emotions and kind of sell enlightenment as this kind of very wonderful experience. When you get enlightened, you feel like sitting on this lotus flowers and you're high up in the sky. So I found that a little bit sad, that Zazen is kind of sold to the masses, so to speak, with those kinds of images. But on the whole, I think it's a interesting movie, nice movie. So if you can find it, well, for example, at the link in the chat function, then I can recommend it. If you have the time during the summer to see it, please.
然后老师刚才还在推荐这部电影啊，我不知道国内能不能看啊？他那个翻墙，回头我们找一找，大家看看。我看过那个电影，就是那部电影呢，里边有说中文，因为是道元禅师来中国，好像是在江浙那一带吧，那个来中国就是做禅，然后学那个禅法哈，来修行，里面有好多中文。那个电影其实节奏特别慢，然后是有点像文艺片那种节奏特别慢，但是里面有中文，大家可能也能理解哈。然后他那个电影里面有一个老师，就是印象很深刻的一个情节呢，就是当道元禅师好像他找到了那个 身心脱落，然后禅定的感觉，就是把自己全部放下的时候，他那个电影里面反映是好像有好多花儿，然后他有升天那种镜头哈。然后老师说，其实每个人找到你觉得你找到禅定，我们说 enlightenment 就是英文哈，中文叫禅定，就是你找到你觉得好像我们说 samadhi 其实也是这个哈，就是我们修行瑜伽也是 samadhi，每个人其实情绪反应。或者说，我们今天讲情绪反应，或者说你心里边的感觉，其实是不一样的。你像在那个电影里面，可能他反应可能就是导演产生当时特别兴奋哈，可能就是他呃感觉好像不一样了。但是那个吴芳老师，当他觉得有禅定感觉的时候，他觉得特别的伤心和失望，就觉得心里很失落。可能每个人感觉都不一样，这些也是一些，其实他也是在困扰我们的一些情绪反应哈。每个人觉得找到沉静的时候，不一定是高兴的，也不一定是不好的。你看吴芳老师他刚开始他就觉得他有那种禅定的感觉的时候，就是感觉有点失落，然后还是推荐大家那部电影，回头我们找一找哈。
Maybe before we start the question section, one more very short saying by Sawaki Roshi. It goes with being an ordinary person. They can only see with the eyes of collective stupidity. Both the expression ordinary person and collective stupidities are expressions that Sawaki Roshi is using quite a lot. Ordinary person in Japanese means bonpu. That means each one of us. Each one of us who's not enlightened. And in a way, the problem is not so much that we're just ordinary persons, but the problem is that most of the time we don't even realize how ordinary we are. We tell ourselves, well, at least I'm not as ordinary as that other person. At least I'm better than him. But exactly that kind of thinking makes us an ordinary person. While an ordinary person who realizes, oh, I'm just an ordinary person, in a way is already enlightened, awakened to something. That person already has awakened to his real nature. Anyway, that is what Sawaki Roshi means when he speaks of the ordinary person. And collective stupidity, that's a phrase, group boke in Japanese, that also Sawaki Roshi uses a lot, that basically we see reality through the glasses that our parents put on our nose, that the teachers in school put on our nose, or the media put on our nose. We always see things through the eyes of everybody. And we never take care to take off those glasses and take a fresh look at reality. That's what he calls group stupidity. Anyway, once more, it goes with being an ordinary person. They, and that means of course us. It's not about them. It's not about they. It's us. We can only see with the eyes of collective stupidity.
这个有点不好翻译哈，我尽量啊。他提到了一个词，就是凡夫。那个子木老师说，这些就刚才我们前面说的那些啊，就是情绪反应，然后看海报、看电影的哈，那些他是接着他的，就是说我们作为一个凡夫呢，就这些总是和凡夫在一起哈。然后他这里面写的是他们，其实指的就是我们总是透过我们只能透过这些眼睛，就是这些集体愚昧，他总是用了一个集体愚昧的词，应该这样翻译哈。我们总是通过一个集体愚昧看东西，就是我们的眼睛是通过集体愚昧看东西。老师简单分析一下，就是“凡夫”这个词，那个泽木老师经常用，还有集体愚昧，就是很多愚昧大家都凑在一块儿，像什么样啊？你看。如果我们是凡人，我们是凡夫哈，每个人都是凡夫。当这个凡夫他能够醒过来，他能够认识到我是一个凡夫的时候，其实他已经就找到了禅定的感觉，他已经找到了禅定了。 你看我们总是通过老师呀、家长呀，或者是媒体来通过这些眼睛来看这个世界，而不是通过我们。我们总是通过家长告诉你的，然后你通过他的眼睛看；学校老师告诉你的一些，你通过他，还有就是，其实这些都它属于一种集体的愚昧感。那个子木老师意思就是说，当我们很难把这个眼镜摘下来，就是透过自己的眼睛去看世界，不要被这些所困扰。他主要提到就是这两个词，一个是凡夫，还有一个集体愚昧。
Okay, so much from my side, but if you have questions or anything you would like to share, please feel welcome.
大家有问题可以提啊，我们基本上公案的分享就到这儿，然后大家可以讨论。
Liat-san, please, Liat.
Hi. I have two points to share. One about group stupidity that he's very repetitive about it in the book, and this is why I think I'm a little bit always afraid of sanghas, because I think also in a sangha you can be very group stupid, and this is one thing. And I mainly went alone in all the studies that I did. I try to avoid the group. I'm happy that I'm in this group, but yes, this is one point. And the other point is about the attraction, that you need to attract someone to see how can I say life. You need to attract them. It's of course in my point of view it's sad in a way that you need to tell people that you need to put a bait to catch them. But I can share a little something that happened just now, a few minutes ago. I put a bottle of water in the freezer.
Yes.
Where it's gonna be frozen. So I realized the bottle is in every moment is checking with the freezer if it's in the freezer. So when I will take him, it's an active process. It's not just laying there freeze the bottle. I think for me it was more than flying in a lotus up and down in the movie, because it was actually seeing the bottle alive. He was alive, and he's checking with the freezer if he's still freezing or not.
I think especially the first point that you raised is a difficult or important thing, the group stupidity. And of course it also happens in a sangha, it happens in society, it happens at home in the family. But then there's the opposite danger, that we always try to be kind of the red pill guys. We always think that, well, the other guys, they have these glasses on, but I think with my own head. What the media tell me is wrong, what the teachers tell me at school is wrong, what the sangha tells me it's wrong. But then we put on our ego glasses, so it's very hard to find the middle way between harmonizing with the group, and that there's the danger of falling into group stupidity, or just following your own ego ideas. And you say, well, I took the red pill and you have the blue pill. But that, of course, is also a danger. It's very hard to find a really good answer to this question. Well, if I'm not supposed to follow group stupidity, but also I'm not supposed to follow my own ego views, so whom am I supposed to follow? And of course, well, the textbook answer is following an enlightened teacher. But how can I find an enlightened teacher, and who tells me if he's really enlightened? or if it's just that he has a lot of followers and they are also blinded by group stupidity. Who decides who's a really enlightened teacher? And I really haven't heard a really good answer to that question yet. At one point you have to follow your intuition or your instincts, but even your intuition can be wrong. So it's really hard to stay free of stupidity. Anything else you would like to answer or to share? Joseph raised his hands. Please, Joseph.
Since we're talking about the movies, I wondered if I could ask you about the film which was made about Antaiji, Zen for Nothing. Perhaps by comparison with this film you shared about the life of Dogen, did you think did you think that is a better way to portray monastic life or Zen pursuit than this kind of fictionalized, dramatized way in the other film?
Well, we probably don't have to call it a better way, but it's certainly a different way. I mean, the film about Dogen, of course, was scripted. There was a script, there were professional actors. In the case of Zen for Nothing, there was only that Swiss woman who was a professional actor, but it was not that the director gave her a script and told her, I want you to do this or this. He just told her, well, I want you to come to Antaiji and spend some weeks with these guys. So in that respect, it was much more, well, authentic or honest, kind of. The idea was that the watcher of the movie would be almost in Antaiji himself. The idea was that whoever sees this movie would see it through the eyes of Sabine, the main actor in that movie. And of course, there was no kind of this kind of LSD trip kind of thing, telling people about, here, if you do this, you get these kind of enlightenment experiences or stuff like that. So I think it was much more of an honest movie. I mean, of course, the Dogen Zenji movie is not dishonest. I mean, but it's just a different kind of movie, a different kind of idea. Zen for Nothing. Unfortunately, you can't see it on YouTube as a whole, but on Amazon, I think it's still available. You have to pay for it, of course, but you can see it on Amazon.
I enjoyed it for what it's worth, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, thank you. In a month or so, I was planning to upload not the movie, but there's also some kind of music piece. So Fred Frith did the music for that movie, but later for German radio, he and a Japanese lady called Ikue Mori, they did some kind of improvised music for that movie, and it was on German radio, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, but I think it's hard to find it on the internet now, so I was planning to upload it on YouTube with not scenes from the movie, but things that I took with my own camera, but at the same time. So those of you who enjoyed Zen for Nothing probably will enjoy that. It should be on my YouTube channel at the beginning of September, in a month or so. Julian, you raised your hand, but then you lowered it.
Yeah, because you answered my question, but just so that Fred Frith, Iko Mori stuff seems to me to conjure up almost the spirit that comes across in Zen for Nothing. So it'd be really good to hear that. I'd really like to hear that. So thank you.
Anything else you would like to ask or share? To Julian, please.
Sorry, I remembered what I was going to say now. So do you think Sawaki Roshi was advocating trying to take the glasses off or not, or giving up on taking the glasses off? So, you know, with this collective stupidity issue, you know, is he saying, well, you know, we've got to try to remove the glasses, or should we just accept that it's impossible to remove them? What do you think he's getting at?
I mean, it's easy to say you have to remove the glasses, but how do you really know when the glasses are off? And you're not only telling yourself, I took my glasses off, but you just exchanged your glasses to a different set of glasses. So maybe, just as you seem to hint, maybe it's more important to realize that we, by necessity, always have to view reality through some kind of glasses. But actually the danger is to tell yourself, no, I don't have glasses on, you're the one with the glasses on. And maybe the more important thing is to, well, realize all of us, we wear some kind of glasses. And rather than to pretend that I can take my glasses off when I do Zazen or whatever, it's maybe more important to sometimes, well, change the glasses a little bit, or to understand that you see reality through a different pair of glasses, and that explains the difference in opinions, for example. It's not that one is wearing the glasses and one is not wearing glasses, but you're just seeing things through different perspective. At least that's where we have to start. We shouldn't pretend that Zazen is an easy way to just take off the glasses.
Or maybe clean the glasses occasionally.
Or cleaning them, yeah. Do you say Genjo or is it Genjoy? There's a plus Y at the end. Genjoy-san with the Clash t-shirt.
Hello.
Hello.
Just relating to Julian's comment, in Sangha, there is a group stupidity. You can't avoid, but you're talking about exchanging glasses or take away. In Sangha, everyone has got his own or her own glasses, and under the practitioners, between practitioners, someone noticed, oh, you probably have your own glasses, but you like to look at things with my glasses on. Maybe the other reject that. I don't want to see through your glasses, but like now we are exchanging our opinions or our thinking. There's some kind of exchange glasses, I think, to look at the things in different ways. And I totally can understand what Leah said. There's to avoid group stupidity, but I never can see my stupidity on my own. So I have to be in a Sangha or with somebody else, and it's painful, but to be said, we're so stupid. It's also very important, I think.
Yes.
What do you think? Thank you.
Yeah. You need somebody else to tell you how stupid you are. And then you need good ears to listen. It's, Yeah, Xuan-san, please.
Yeah, I want to follow Jeki-san. I think it's difficult. You have to do your own practice by your alone, because when you practice, you're on your own. But also you need a group to improve, or you need a group like make you want to work harder, or you maybe to check yourself or a teacher, they can lead you. I think it's a very difficult balance. You have to be alone. Also, I think you need a kind of group stability, a group of people stay together, study together. I think it's balance.
There's a comment in the chat function in Chinese. Is it a question or?
Yeah, I can try to let me see. First, you notice yourself and other people are different. And then you notice yourself nothing special. You're nothing special. You're just bamboo. That's the first step to wake up your wisdom. And you can notice, don't follow the group stupidity and try to find the true self. Everybody's life have their own purpose and meaning, and she thinks that's the where the Zen started. That's way comment.
Thank you. Any other questions? Anything else you want to share? Peter, please.
Hi, Dojo-san.
Hi.
Yeah, interesting topic with the glasses. I think we all have our personal glass when we look out on life, and probably that's no problem at all as long as we stay with our own. But the problem, at least in my life, often happens when I have to act on my point of view in combination with, for example, my wife, who also has her point of view on things. And I often have a different approach to act on this point of view than she has. And I often honestly refer to kind of Buddhist teachings. She's a bit spiritual herself, let's say, and say, yeah, okay, how about seeing things as they are, for example? Yeah, that's often mentioned in Buddhist texts, to see the things as they are, not as you want them to be. Yeah, that's I have big struggles with then being in the group and applying these topics. What's your approach to it?
I think I can see your point. There's always a temptation trying to teach Buddhism to others, but first we have to start with ourselves, and telling people to let go of your ego, usually you don't have any success. You have to make the first step, and often you have to make a second and a third step as well. And then maybe eventually people might learn from your example, or they may never learn from your example. But I think there's no other way to motivate people to take off their glasses or let go of themselves, rather than, well, do the first step. Would be nice. It would be nice if there was a way to teach your wife to be a better wife, but you can only be a better husband, and maybe.
Exactly. Also, another thing came to my mind while talking about this glasses thing. There is, I don't know if I remember this right, probably you know better, this story with the monk who walks in the night through somewhere and he sees a snake on the ground and he is totally shocked from the snake. And next day he goes there in the daylight and it's just a rope lying there.
Yeah.
Can I apply this too here, or is this something?
Yeah, I mean, that's how we see reality. I mean, we make our own reality. We tell ourselves stories about reality. And I think Sawaki Roshi doesn't use the word karma so much, but I think in the following chapter, sometimes he used this kind of karmic conditioning phrase, like this glasses which we see through and that determine the story that we tell ourselves about life. That's kind of also made up by our karma or by our childhood or whatever. So if you experience something as a very happy event or as a sad event, or if you feel you win in life or you think you're always losing, that also, it's a little bit like this, what you just said. There's a rope, but somebody thinks, oh, that's a snake, it's dangerous. Somebody thinks, maybe I can eat it, maybe it's something delicious. We are always telling ourselves different stories. And basically this fight that goes on in the world is a fight about these stories. Everybody thinks my story is the real story, but there's also this famous story about the elephant, 4 blind guys that touch an elephant, but everybody's touching different part of the animal. So they say, hey, it's like a trunk. No, it's more like a banana leaf. And everybody thinks that they are right because, hey, they grab the real thing. But yeah, you grab the real thing, but you grab different parts of the real thing.
Yeah, and here it's not a problem if only one person touches it, but if 2 or more people are involved and they want to act on their vision,
exactly,
then the trouble starts.
Exactly, yeah. If it would be only me alone in the universe, everything would be fine, but unfortunately there's more than myself. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for coming, joining again. Next week, same time, we're gonna do it again, and after that I'm gonna start my trip to Germany, Switzerland. So I will be away for 2 months, but I think Xuan-san will continue to teach pranayama breathing during that time, right? Yeah. And yes. I'll be back in October. In the middle of October I'll be back, and hopefully we will meet again at this time on Monday in this Zoom room.
那个一会儿刚才提问
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. 一会儿想听那个提问翻译的同学可以稍微留一下啊，我把刚才那提问可以跟大家简单说一说。着急走同学可以提前撤啊，然后下周还有1次课，老师可能就要请假到10月中旬才回来，所以我们上呼吸法啊，到时候我再群里通知。
Okay, thank you. Have a nice week and see you again. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.